Good morning to you. Good morning, dear Westers. Good morning to you. Say hi, everybody. So, we're going to finally tell everybody this boy's birth story. Mr. Wesley Noah was born August 19th. As I said before, I've recorded this story several times and just never got to upload it for one reason or the other, technology difficulties. Anyways, so here we go again for like the third or fourth time. I don't even know. So hopefully I can get through it without crying. It was quite traumatic. We'll see. Say hi. Hey guys, it's 11:30 and I'm officially in the labor and delivery room. My doctor changed plans and she's gonna put in the bulb at 12. And so I got 30 more minutes to sit here. I'm getting nervous and I'm all swollen. There's Daddy. There's where little baby's gonna be. They just put in the fully ballooned at 12:10 a.m. and so they're about to give me some sleep medicine and some pain medicine since I didn't sleep last night. So anyways, I'm feeling excited and nervous and I'm having back cramps and front cramps and it made me bleed, of course, but excited nonetheless. So here we go. Hey guys, it is 9 a.m. My doctor came in and checked to see where the balloon was and it's almost out. I am 4 centimeters and 75% effaced now. So we've made some progress. The balloon is still in there, but she thinks it'll be out in the next hour or so. And then we might start Pitocin and stuff after that. So we're moving along, guys. I guess we're probably entering the transition stage. The contractions are 2 minutes apart. It's 2:41 p.m. So after they upped my Pitocin and my contractions started getting 1 to 2 minutes apart, really intense, I dilated to a 6 and 90% effaced. My blood pressure shot up, and I'm guessing from the pain. I was sitting on the ball, and that really felt good when I was having contractions and everything. Well, anyways, his heart rate dropped. So they made me get back on the bed, and then it dropped again, and they kept making me change positions. This happened all afternoon. They checked me several times. I hadn't progressed by like 4 or 5 o'clock. It hadn't been that many hours since they had up my Pitocin, but I still hadn't progressed. So my blood pressure was still high, and they like reduced the Pitocin and then gave me more, reduced it, gave me more, trying to figure out what was causing his heart rate to drop. And this kept happening, and the nurse kept pressuring me to get an epidural, and I said, okay, you know, it's been a few hours of back-to-back contractions. I don't want a C-section. They knew I didn't, so she was telling me, get an epidural because your blood pressure keeps shooting up. You're going to end up with an emergency C-section. I said, okay. So as bad as I didn't want one, I broke down and got one. I wasn't against getting one, but I wanted to wait till I was farther because I had heard it can stop progress. So, and they had only up my Pitocin about 2 o'clock, and this was at 4:30 when I got the epidural, so it hadn't been that long. So then the nurse came in, and she's an older nurse. She's like, the anesthesiologist is on the hall now, and we don't know when he'll be back, so if you want an epidural, you got to get one now. And so I finally gave in and got one, like I said, about 4:30. And after that, my progress stopped. The dreaded thing that I didn't want to happen happened. My progress stopped. I never got past 6 and 90% effaced. I stayed that way for the rest of the night. As the night progressed, in this next clip, just waiting. Little bed's ready.
You might see a great big line. He's eating green beans.
Kid is still not here. It's 8:17 at night.
Yeah.
Having good contractions. Not too long after that last clip, I started feeling like I was going to have a C-section, and I already had, as you know, I've mentioned before, I have anxiety problems, and I had specifically really bad anxiety about having a C-section. And no knocking any of you that have had one. I'm not against them. If you have to have one, good, get one. You're still just as much a mother as somebody that gave birth. I just didn't want to have to get surgery personally. So anyways, I kept my emotions and my feeling to myself, and they kept moving me positions, back and forth, trying to get his heart rate to stay up. And like I said, start, stop, Pitocin, nothing was working. They couldn't figure it out. So about 11:30-ish that night, August 19th, the nurse came in and said, we don't know what's going on with his heart rate, and your water's been broke for like 13 hours. My sugar was about 64 at this point, and it had been 64 actually earlier that day. They didn't check it after that. And they said, we can't figure out why his heart rate is staying like that, why it keeps going down, dropping. And so they said, we're gonna have to do a C-section. And they were like, it's not a big deal. I knew they were trying to play it off. Well, I panicked. I've never had that kind of panic attack before, or anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. I'm usually pretty good at keeping it together when people are around. My sister-in-law was visiting, and when they told me that I was having a C-section, basically emergency C-section, I couldn't breathe. They had to put me on oxygen, had to literally give me something to calm me down. Yeah, it was crazy. I could not, I don't know, I really lost it. They gave me more epidural. I could still feel, I never mentioned that, I forgot to mention that earlier. I always still had a little bit of feeling on my right side. I could still move my leg a little bit. My favorite nurse that had been with me those few days in the mother ward before I got, because I got admitted August 15th. So my favorite nurse came down, I guess they called her, and she came down and prayed with me, and that did help calm me down big time. And then when I got on the table, they were like, can you feel this? And I was like, yeah, you're pinching me. And they're like, yeah. So they gave me some more epidural, and they're like, can you feel it now? I'm like, yeah, I still can feel it. So, long story short, I had to get a spinal on top of the epidural because I could still feel. So the spinal made me feel numb from the head down. I literally could not lift my head. They tried to get me to lift my head to put a pillow under it. When I got to mother baby ward, I could not even lift my head, and that is a super weird feeling. I also cried the whole C-section, just pure joy and amazement that I was finally able to give birth to a baby after 4 years of infertility.
Do you want to carry him?
So anyways, he was born at 11:39, and after his blood sugar check and everything, the doctor told me while he was in the NICU that the cord was wrapped very tight around his neck, and that is why his heart rate was dropping like it was. When my contractions got back to back, it was literally choking him, and that's why his heart rate kept dropping. And then his sugar was super low, so he also measured only 36 weeks in like 2 days. I was 37 weeks on the dot when I had him. He basically quit growing the last few weeks because of the gestational diabetes and my blood pressure. Blood pressure makes him a smaller baby. Gestational diabetes makes him larger. So we figured he'd just be like a normal size, right? No, he wasn't. He was tiny. He was 4'11". So, and then he dropped to 4'8" pretty quickly. I breastfed him, and the nurse would come behind me and force him to eat an ounce after I would breastfeed him, and an ounce was way too much. The nurse would do that, the NICU nurse, and we got his sugar up to 25. He would like throw it up pretty much every time they did that, and I'm guessing because he was too full, you know? I didn't say anything, but I was thinking that I'm like, there's charts right there on the wall that says a newborn baby can only eat like it's very little. And then him being 4 pounds and something, yeah, he wasn't eating much at all, you know? Anyways, it was super scary because we could have lost him from his blood sugar being so low. That's like coma status, just about it. Or from the cord choking him. If I would have stayed in labor and delivery and pushed to have a baby, you know, naturally, I could have literally lost him within the next few hours when my contractions would get back to back to progress me, or his blood sugar might have dropped all the way by that point, you know. So I still get emotional thinking about it because, like, I literally came so close to losing my miracle baby, and it's bad, and as much as I regret getting that epidural, which stopped my progression, I am grateful that my doctor went ahead and took the baby before he, you know, something worse could have happened to him. We really, for real, could have lost him, and my doctor even told me that. So I'm just grateful today that he's here. It's my first Mother's Day with him, and he's an amazing little boy. He is, and we're so glad he's here. So they took him to the NICU, and he was in there for 16 days, and I'll have to do a whole nother video about that experience. It was a wild one. A lot of emotions, difficult nurses, and I don't know, it was hard. And then he got out, and then 16 days later we got readmitted to the hospital for pneumonia. He did. And then we got out. We were there from Friday night to Monday. Then Tuesday morning we got a call from his doctor that the blood work they had taken at the hospital showed he had sepsis. So we got readmitted on Tuesday, and we were in there to Thursday. And then Thursday night, he spiked 102 fever out of the blue and having trouble breathing again. So we took him to the other hospital in town because the one his pediatrician's are awesome, but the hospital sucks. They don't even have monitors that connect to the nurse's station. So basically, I was watching the monitors and I would get them if something went down. It was really stupid. And it was in the mother-baby ward. That's where their pediatrician unit is. They don't even, or pediatric unit. They don't even have one at that hospital. It's a small hospital. And then December 1st, we got admitted to Cook's Children's Hospital in Dallas. He's having breathing issues, and that time they said it was influenza and bronchiolitis caused by the influenza, but it wasn't the flu, which makes no sense because isn't influenza the flu? Last time I checked, yeah. But anyway, since then we are doing great. He's only got minorly sick once, and then besides teething, he's doing great. So anyways, I will have to continue and do a NICU story next. That is an interesting one.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Miss Connie?
Yeah.
They're for your ultrasound. They're over there for your ultrasound.
That's what I was afraid of.
And so Ann, the nurse, is like, "Do you have a good over?"
Yeah, they're checking my leg for blood clot. Is he smiling? You have a sleeper. You're such a cool dude. Yeah, you are. You're a cool dude. You're a cool dude. This little dude is doing great now. He's 8.5 months old, crawling everywhere. Here you are, sitting all the way up, eating some table food. He's not doing that great with baby food, so I started giving him table food this week. Just the soft little table food like spaghetti and strawberries and stuff like that, and he loves it. Yes, you do. He's so cute. Wesley. Anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. So sorry this video is so late. It was really hard for me to talk about at first. You know, almost losing your baby is not a very pleasant conversation, or you know, your regrets about your birthing experience is also not something you just want to talk about every day. So I'm doing much better with it now. I do want to try for a VBAC next baby, and the next baby hopefully won't be too much longer. We plan to start trying for a baby in July. It's May now, so I'm gonna get back on Ovustance, Vitex, Make-A-Root. If Vitex and Make-A-Root are safe to take while you're breastfeeding, I'm not sure if they are or not. I'll have to ask my doctor. But yeah, I definitely am gonna start using Ovustance again to track my ovulating, since I got pregnant while using that last time. So anyways, lots of videos coming up of testing, and sorry, a ladybug landed on me, it scared me. So anyways, thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a great day. Bye.